Yes, yes. Come on in, come on in, come on in, tell a friend. All black everything. We back again with that new series. You've been lied to slash. Did you know? Like you share, subscribe, thumbs up. Like you hitchhiking. And we back with the when the world was black. When the world was black. Getting into it. The original motto. Who is the original motto? We shall see. Keeping it authentic. It continues. The original model. Modern Western civilization is praised for its systems of economics, trade, industry, agriculture, literature, scientific knowledge, government, and social organization. While all of these things were drawn from original people at various points in history, which we'll document throughout this book, none of these things characterize the high points of the original people's civilization. In fact, it is only in the most recent epoch of our immensely long history that we developed the practices Europeans would later usurp, adapt, and then use against us. The biggest usurpers. The true high points of our civilization have been when the majority, if not all of the people enjoyed shared access to common resources. Definitely. Decisions affecting the community were made collectively and not by a powerful in group. Nope. Knowledge was not purposely kept from commoners by the elite, but was shared freely. You see the difference? Put simply, we've been at our best when we shared our socialist equality that is increasingly rare in a modern world that promotes individual benefit over collective prosperity. This book will document some of the periods in our history when this has occurred, the reason behind the points when it did not occur, and how even the most primitive social groups or tribes were more advanced in their scientific knowledge and mastery of the environment than the great civilizations Western historians Western historians, excuse me, celebrate today. You want to show no love to the people they got it from. God, was ancient Egypt the apex? Was ancient Egypt the apex of our country, of our history? Excuse me. We may upset some people with this point, but one of the most celebrated of black civilizations, ancient Egypt, is also one of the most celebrated in Western history precisely because of this dynamic. That is, while early Egypt was both advanced and prosperous, it was no better in terms of the prosperity of the common people than any of 100 other civilizations in Africa, most of which you've never heard about until this book. Part of the reason Egypt seems so great is because we know so much about it. This is mostly because white people were so fascinated with it. After all, ancient Egypt provided much of the artistic, religious, cultural, and scientific foundations of early Western civilization. Factual. Do your own research, though. There's a lot of resources out there. As a result, ancient Egypt most resembles, even to us, the most celebrated aspects of Western civilization, including a capitalistic society, economy, excuse me, an elite government separated sharply from the classes, excuse me, from the common people, social stratification, meaning there were different classes with different levels of social standing and economic means, a strong standing military, and organized religion. Although not even the worst of these elements were half as bad as they would become later when they emerged in Western civilization. They still provide us a focal point that looks familiar, whereas the primitive societies of Central or Southern Africa, for example, do not. Even though the people of Central Africa were producing advanced mathematical artifacts over 100,000 years before the Greeks took the Pythagorean theorem from Egypt. Mm. I remember learning about the Pythagorean theorem. Knew something wasn't right about it. They usurped it from the original people. What must we do to correct this? All of the above tells us one thing: we have to shift our paradigm. We can't define civilization and success by Western standards. Just can't do it because it's never going to amount to whatever they see as standard. If we do so, we are only civilized and successful within the past 10,000 years and only in specific places throughout the world. This means that everywhere else, for the majority of our history, we were actually uncivilized and savage, just like Europeans said we were. Mm-mm. Lies. We don't dig it. We don't accept it. We can't work with that model at all. We have to keep in mind that when the Egyptians erected the Great Pyramids 5,000 years ago, they said that they were at the decline of their civilization. Does this mean that there were bigger and better pyramids before then? No. This means that their model civilization was once better than what it became in the era of urbanization and monument building. Mm. Let's see, we're gonna continue for nah, we're gonna leave it right there. I like that. See, the civilization is on decline and they were still building tremendous monuments that stand to this day. And no other civilization ever done that to this day. You know, it was black, all black everything. Think it's like big dreams, many streams. Like you share, subscribe, a thumbs up, like you hitchhiking. Let's go. We're gonna come right back at it. Peace and love, y'all. Indeed.